Today, we're diving into a cold case so bizarre, so audacious, and so utterly frustrating that it's become one of Japan's most notorious criminal mysteries. We're talking about the time a mysterious group took on two of Japan's largest food corporations, mocked the police, and poisoned candy, all without ever being caught. This is the case of the monster with 21 faces, spanning the mid-1980s. The chaos began on March 18, 1984, in Osaka. The target was Katsuhisa Ezaki, the president of the major confectionery giant, Glico. Around 9 p.m., two masked intruders, later referred to simply as the duo Fulan, smoothly entered his private residence. They were armed, they cut the phone lines, disabled the alarm, and tied up his children and his wife. Ezaki himself was found relaxing in his bathtub, and he was promptly kidnapped. The next day, a ransom note arrived demanding 1 billion yen and 100 kilograms of gold. That's about $10 million at the time. A massive sum. The police immediately began scrambling, preparing for a long negotiation. But the case took its first weird turn just 2 days later. Katsuhisa Ezaki suddenly reappeared at a local police station, healthy, dressed, and completely unharmed. He claimed his restraints had mysteriously loosened at dawn, and he simply walked free from the storage warehouse where he was being kept. The police were deeply suspicious. His story was flimsy. The escape was too easy. The location of his captivity was bizarrely close to Glico's headquarters, and Ezaki couldn't provide any useful details about his captors. This was just the opening act. Once Ezaki was free, the perpetrators changed their name and escalated the situation. They now called themselves the Monster with 21 Faces and declared war on Glico. First, there was arson. They set fire to cars outside Glico headquarters. Then they sent threats, claiming they had sabotaged Glico products. They sent notes to the media and the company, threatening to poison candies with potassium cyanide, demanding a smaller, more manageable ransom of $480,000 USD. The public was terrified. Glico, realizing the devastating public relations damage, immediately recalled all its products nationwide. This led to massive losses, up to $21 million USD, and massive layoffs. Curiously, when the police checked the recalled products, they couldn't find any poison. Was this just a huge, expensive bluff? What followed next turned the case into a nationwide spectacle. The monster with 21 faces began sending letters directly to the media, but specifically targeting the police. They taunted them, calling them stupid, and even gave incredibly detailed clues about the vehicles and locations they used, challenging the authorities to catch them. The police, who usually had an excellent solve rate, were publicly humiliated. Then, just as suddenly as they appeared, they sent one final letter to Glico on June 26, 1984, stating that they were done harassing the company and wished them well. Glico was finally safe, but the monster was far from finished. Their next target was Marudai, another food corporation. Marudai agreed to pay the ransom. Police disguised an employee and set up a complex handover involving a train ride to Kyoto and a signal, a white flag, to indicate where the money drop should happen. The police monitoring the drop noticed a suspicious male figure, large build, short hair, glasses, and what they described as fox eyes. This man was likely the monster, but the white flag signal was never seen, the money wasn't collected, and the fox-eyed man vanished into the crowd, leaving the police empty-handed again. The monster shifted targets again, moving to the confectionery company Morinaga in September 1984. Morinaga refused to pay the $410,000 USD ransom. In response, the monster sent a frightening letter specifically addressed to the mothers of Japan. They claimed to have injected 20 packets of Morinaga products with potassium cyanide. This time, it wasn't a bluff. When police searched stores, they actually found 20 packets of Morinaga products, labeled with bold, handwritten warnings saying, "Danger, contains poison," and laboratory tests confirmed they were laced with potent potassium cyanide. The stakes had just become deadly. 40,000 police officers were deployed to monitor stores across the country. In one instance, a low-quality CCTV camera caught a glimpse of a suspicious figure in a suit and hat, but the footage was too grainy to identify him. They even received a mysterious phone call from the group, but voice analysis revealed something truly strange. The voice on the line was that of a woman and a small child, suggesting the group was possibly forcing others, maybe even innocent people, to carry out their threats or act as decoys. For months, the threats continued against dozens of other food companies. Many companies were willing to pay, but the monster with 21 faces never successfully collected a single ransom, reinforcing the idea that money was never their primary motivation. The case finally came to a heartbreaking close in August 1985. Inspector Soji Yamamoto, one of the key officers investigating the case, took his own life. He felt deep shame and embarrassment over his inability to solve the crime. Just 5 days after the inspector's death, the monster with 21 faces sent their final letter. They offered condolences to the inspector's family, announced that they were officially retiring from their crime spree, and stated they were moving on to other endeavors. The letter ended with this chilling statement: "It was fun to live life as a bad guy." And just like that, the monster with 21 faces vanished. No more threats, no more letters. Despite years of investigation, the identity of the people behind one of Japan's most costly and terrifying criminal sprees was never discovered. The case remains cold, proving that sometimes the villains really do get away with it.